Mr. Lee Maasen. Welcome.
Thank you, man. Happy to be here.
Me and you, we go back pretty far. What is it, elementary school?
Elementary school, dude. Yeah, we go way back. Those good old recess days out there playing football at Castle Heights.
Did you go to Colterry?
Yeah. Me and my brother started getting in trouble, and that's what our parents was like, all right, you're going to Friendship Christian School. We're going to straighten you guys out.
Private school.
Which is funny, because then you get over there and you're like, these kids are worse.
Getting into more trouble here, and I'm just not getting in trouble for it.
That's exactly right.
Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, bro. So I own EluFit. We are a personal development company, and we use fitness as the vehicle to develop somebody, because when we get somebody, their body right, their minds right, then they literally progress in everything else in their life. And my story is I've always been kinesthetically intelligent, meaning like body awareness. I truly believe in my heart and soul that if I didn't get in so much trouble when I was 19, that I would have been a pro baseball player. I have 100% belief in my heart on that. Over those years of just being physically fit, physically active, going through those states of depression, having those deleterious thoughts, I then began to realize, man, I got to do something. So through my process of working on my mind, my body, it's just totally entered into the business space, like 100% has entered into it. And people always ask, bro, like, how do I look like you, Lee? And I'm like, it is not how, it is who. It's like, bro, you have to become the type of person that behaves as a successful person. Even if you're not successful, like I remember, like I'm still not where I want to be, but I remember when I first formed this company 3 years ago, I was like, I just had to start behaving as if I was. Full circle, I own EluFit. We have 4 trainers on our team. We provide people with custom meal plan, custom workout plans, and then we coach them through the whole process through our system, and we give people pillars to live by. And these are non-negotiables. And then what happens is people just start to lose weight. They start to feel amazing. They start to build their confidence. C-suite executives, business owners, all those guys that are really struggling with their self-talk because they don't have the discipline on their diet and their workout plans. And we provide that for people. And then we literally change people's lives, bro.
Let's go into a little bit about that. You're more than just a trainer. You do so much more than that. Let's talk about the mindset on that end and what you go into with that.
Yeah, I don't even consider myself a trainer. I don't even identify as a trainer. I identify as a leader, really. It's really what it is, because I have to lead by example. I've been lifting weights for 18 years now. I have been doing one-on-one training for 8 years. And then I started EluFit LLC 3 years. 3 years ago is when I started it. Through the whole process of giving people just these pillars to live by, it's like, bro, I just started to figure out what worked. And when I first started coaching, it was like, I would have a client who had a torn ACL, like a year out. And I had no idea how to do rehab. So then I would go get FRC certified functional range conditioning, which is what they use in the NFL. They use that with the Olympic athletes. It is very high level stuff. Then I'd have another problem come that I had no idea how to solve. So then I would go and get certified in that. But then just over those years, I'm like, man, like I'm not even a trainer, bro. Like I'm like a life coach for these cats, because it became so easy to train people. Working out's really not difficult. If you really want to gain muscle, take yourself as close to failure as possible. You want to lose weight, then eat in a slight caloric deficit. But the hard part is staying consistent with it. That's the hardest part right there. So I really started to learn, like, dude, I got to remove people's vices. Like, I got to get this guy to quit drinking every weekend. I got to get this businessman who sits all day and then comes to work out with me, and then he thinks he's going to lose weight when he's literally sitting on his ass all day and then can't even push himself hardcore in this workout because he just doesn't have the mental toughness. It just really starts to evolve into, bro, I have to learn how to be a better leader, how to motivate people, because I give them the tools, but then their ability to adhere to it is the hardest part. That's why discipline is so hard, because it's hard. That's what Jocko Willink says. That's why discipline is so hard. It's because it's challenging to stay consistent when you don't feel like doing something. Like, you got to do it.
You solved a problem that a lot of people don't address. The level of that problem was not just surface. You took a step back. I call it upstream thinking, solving a problem for more than surface value. So have you heard of the upstream theory? I think Tony Robbins is who I got it from.
No, what is it?
So there was a man who was walking down the road, a river beside him, and there was another man drowning. So he goes and helps the man out. And then about that time, another guy comes down the river drowning. They both help him out. And then there's 2 or 3, 4 or 5 people coming down the river drowning. And they're all getting saved and then helping the next one out. And then another man walks down the road and says, "Hey, come help us. These people are drowning." And he keeps going. He turns around and walks the other way. And everybody's like, "Hey, where are you going? These people are drowning." And he says, "I'm going to go up here and see who keeps throwing these people in the water." So that's the theory of upstream thinking. You're not going to keep doing something that's the surface level. It's not the root of the issue. You got to figure out the root of the issue. And I feel like from what you were saying is it's the mindset. The habits are what the surface level issue is, but how do we address those habits? We can come up with a few things and tell them, "Hey, this is what you do." It takes more than just that. I think then you took a step back and looked at that as a whole and figured out a solution for that.
Yeah, that's a great story right there. Yeah, because it doesn't get to the essence of the issue. And the health and medical industry is 19% of the US GDP. That's a huge number. More people than ever right now are depressed. More people than ever right now have some type of mental illness or something going on, and people are overweight. And part of that isn't, I will say this though, a part of that isn't entirely that person's fault. And I'll put 1% actually on the system that we're in, but the 99% is like those people might just be jumping in the river on their own, but they can't swim. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. We got to teach you how to swim before you just jump in and just try to slay this beast. Like, you want to lose 100 pounds? Dude, you don't even know how to swim, bro. You're not even going to be close to that. 99% of it is the habits. It's the negative self-talk that people have. And then it's this just downward spiral that they just literally never end. So if we give people the tools that they need, we give them awareness at the end of the day. Like, it really is just self-awareness. And then we transcend them up the human energy frequency field, then they become enlightened and then they gain that confidence. So it really is tools. But one thing I'm going to talk about with a big problem that we do have with the industry that we're in, the food industry in itself, is type 2 diabetes is through the roof. Dementia is going to be insane. It's like, how do you combat these tools if you're really long-term thinking? One of the best skills that we actually give our clients is how to read a nutrition label, like how to actually know what hidden sugars are in there. Cause these corporations, it should be illegal, dude. Like, it should be completely illegal. It'll say sugar-free on the front, but then they'll have sucralose, dextrose, fructose. There's 23 different artificial sugars that even if you're trying to get rid of sugar, which spikes your insulin, which our body's not made to be fully spiked with insulin, keep you from actually reaching your goal. So that's why I say it is 99% of people just having terrible habits and not believing in themselves. And then it is 1% that the system actually is against them, which is insane.
Yeah, I got pretty deep into that stuff. Not, of course, on your level of expertise, but pretty deep whenever back in my fitness days of bodybuilding and just learning from coaches and things like that of what is actually real and what's not told the full truth. But there's a lot that goes into that as well.
Facts, man. Yeah, it's deep. So the further down the rabbit hole you go, it's like the more angry and upset you'll become.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there's a lot of things like that as well. I feel like in that industry that is just not fully transparent at all. I won't be a big conspiracy or anything like that, but I think food is where a lot of health problems come from originally.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. What was it? Socrates, let food be thy medicine and thy medicine be thy food. And I believe in all the conspiracy theories, by the way. I believe in every freaking one of them. I think they're all true. I do. I think they're all freaking true, man. We don't have to go into it, dude, but yeah, it's man. So we gonna have to figure something out. We got to change. We need a full paradigm shift, but it starts from inside. And that's the whole thing of what we do, man. We get people's minds right. We get their body right. We get them healthy. Your mind only thinks as clearly as healthy as your body is. So if somebody is sick, like they're actually sick. They can't really think that far ahead. They can't think upstream like you're talking about. They just don't have the capacity to do it. Like the mind and the body are not separate. Like they're in 100% in my opinion, they are literally the same. Like our body actually holds on to trauma, all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah. And if we're bogged down by all that negativity or any kind of sickness, we can't perform our best. It's like a car. We need fuel and we need good fuel. If you slug it all up, you're not going to perform at your peak.
Yeah, facts. And then if you drive 120 miles an hour and you don't have any brake pads because you just can't stop, then that's also going to be another problem. You're going to crash. The car analogy is a great analogy. What are you fueling your car with? If you think you're a Ferrari and then you're putting in unleaded fuel in there, you're going to destroy the vehicle. But if you really think you're a Ferrari, then you're going to fuel your body like you are a Ferrari, and then you're going to behave as a Ferrari, perform as a Ferrari.
Yeah. I don't want to jump off the topic, but how does one go from personal trainer? And I know that you said you're not one, but the typical route is somebody becomes personal trainer. They do a few things. They train clients. They trade their time for money. But you've gone personal trainer to online business.
Mm-hmm.
Can you break that down, where that came from?
Yeah. Lee Maasen's evolution. One, I love it. For me, it's easy. It's super simple. So I started not knowing anything. Like I said, I would have a client that have a problem and I always want to be really good. So I actually cared, about getting my clients results. That's why they were paying me. So the evolution went from one-on-one. And then from there, it went when I was actually working at a box gym. I'm like, dude, I'm the best trainer here, but I'm only getting $30 per session and the gym is getting $75. No, this ain't going to work. So then I left, started my first LLC, which Core Fitness, guys, it's been so long, it was called Core Fitness LLC. And then that's when I was just a sole proprietor. I was just working for myself, doing good, getting that 75 per pop. And then just over those years, I started getting higher level clients. So I needed to become a higher level trainer to feel as if I really deserved those clients. And that's just the evolution. That's when every year for 8 years, I would take a trip and I'll get a new certification. I would take a weekend, kettlebells, nutrition, mace bars, gymnastics work, rehab stuff, like legit. I've worked with grannies to pro athletes to Olympic athletes, everybody across the board. So it just started to evolve like that. And then it got to the point where I was like, all right, I'm trading time for money. So now I need to go online because I'm crushing myself. So then it went to hired coaches, just continued to invest into myself, to getting systems on how to do online coaching. And then immediately my income doubled from that. And then from there, it was like, okay, this is really simple. So now what I wanted to do is I want to build a team. Like I want to start leveraging people. I want to train trainers on how to duplicate this system. And then they can put in the legwork and then, because the system's duplicatable, and then they can put in legwork and then I can stop trading time for money. Like I don't have to be married to my computer. And that's really the process I'm in right now. We have 4 coaches. I'm training my coaches right now and I'm giving them all the tools that they need and they're getting clients on their own. And the business infrastructure is really built for the trainers to make a lot of money. Like it really is all about the trainers on my team.
Did you have that thought of, I don't need to trade my time, or did you hear that somewhere? Or did you learn that from somebody?
Man, I just consume so much business and all these leaders that I look up to, they're not crushing, or maybe they did to get to that point, but they're not killing themselves and they're driving Ferraris. They're going to Bali, like they're living that lifestyle that we all want. My line of thinking was I could probably do that with being a one-on-one online coach. But if I really wanted to impact the world, I need to create something that's good for all. Like I don't just need to keep all this information that I have and not share it with people, because I've gotten people off their type 2 diabetic medications. We've had multiple people drop over hundreds of pounds. Like, why do I just want to keep this to myself when I can train other people and wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning? Like I can do it and I still do that. But there's some days, man, I might want to sleep in. You know what I'm saying? I might want to go and work 4 hours a day or maybe 2 hours a day and just build a system that operates on itself and then leave can have more time to create more content, to just share the message. And then I can actually help my trainers, my coaches that are trying to make a living, and then put them in a position to where I can teach them all these skills. Then they can grow themselves as well through our organization.
What came first? Did you start hiring out the trainers before you had your online products?
So I'll tell you what we did. Here's the business infrastructure. So EluFit, I read a book. It's called Blue Ocean Strategies. Have you ever heard of that?
I have.
Dude, amazing book. If you guys have not read Blue Ocean Strategies, I can't remember who the author is off the top of my head, but essentially what it is, you have a red ocean and a blue ocean. The red ocean is everybody competing against themselves, and they're a bunch of sharks just taking bites out of everybody. So it's blood in the water. Like that's like what 99% of all these businesses are doing. And I've always been different, bro. Like I've always been different. Not just like being different. I am different. So I'm like, anything that's different is going to attract me. Like, okay, this is different. Let me get really creative on how I can build this business. So what I decided to do was, how can I make something that's good for everybody? How can it be good for Lee? How can it be good for the company? How can it be good for the trainers? How can it be good for the clients and anybody that's a part of EluFit? How can I do that? If you are in the coaching space, what these coaches are going to do, they're going to high ticket sales you anywhere from $3,000 to $20,000 to go online. I paid 3 years ago. So I got the system, but that's it. It's just like a product. You know what I mean? It's just like buying something and now it's yours and it's good. It's good for that type of person, but I wanted to do something different. So what I decided to do was, instead of me trying to just start to compete with these other trainers or other online coaches on how to train trainers to get them to go online, because it's such a massive space. There's so many trainers that want to go online and quit spending 12 hours in the gym. Like, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to recruit trainers to join my team. I'm going to charge them $200 enrollment fee, next to nothing. Like there is a system that we have that they have to fit the culture. They have to fit Elu before we're going to come on. I'm going to give them all this knowledge and information. And the business infrastructure is actually a network marketing business. Like it's a beautiful thing, man. There's no other fitness company in the world that is a network marketing business. So they enroll, they $200, nothing. Like I could sell our online coaching course for 10 grand, but I don't want to compete with those other people. I'm thinking downstream, like you said, I'm recruiting good trainers that have an entrepreneurial spirit about them. And I'm giving them the skill set, everything they need, providing them with all the material, literally everything they need. And then they go out using our programs, using our infrastructure of how to acquire clients, and they get their own. And then we basically have a percentage split. And then not only is that good for the trainer because they're a $200 investment for insane value, but it's good for the company because now they can actually bring in revenue into the business. It's good for the client because our prices are a little bit lower. Like we're not really doing like the high ticket sales. Like that's what they'll do. They'll get you on a business call and then they're going to charge $5 grand if you're a client, hit you with all the pain points, all that good stuff. People are just coming to us because of our systems and we get results and it speaks for itself. And then they actually have the opportunity, once they're comfortable enough, to build an organization underneath themselves. And a problem that I thought upstream about was like, all right, if I recruit a trainer, he comes on my team, $200, what would keep him or her from leaving our company, only paying $200, but getting this knowledge on how to go fully online on their own and then trying to compete with us? I'm like, all right, how can I do that? The way I'm doing it is they can build an organization underneath them. So then they can actually train other people and then they will be so plugged into our system that they can't leave. They would never want to leave anyways, because they have infinite potential. Like they could end up being like me, and then they have trainers doing the system, bringing them income, and it just goes downstream. So it's actually a network marketing business. Nobody knows it on the front end, but the way the business is designed on the back end is a network marketing business. And bro, I'm going to tell you right now, it's been so painful building it. We're still not even done building it. We're like 90% through with this software, because literally when I say We are the first fitness company in the world to do this. We have had to customize everything because our product is not a physical product. It's a digital product. So we've had to have all these APIs customized. Everything has had to be customized for us. It's been so painful, but we're getting there, man. We're 90% all the way through it.
Now, that's good to know because I had looked into your business model a little bit and I thought I didn't know of that exactly, of it tearing down and giving them the opportunity, but that's next level business. This is what I think about, is creating an opportunity for somebody to create their own thing underneath something else and use something else, use the advanced tools, the skill sets, the knowledge that you've already gained to their advantage and build something else for them as well, without the upfront investment, without the years of knowledge that they need to gain to build a business and infrastructure on that end of hiring and firing and SOPs and everything like that. They have everything. They have a business in a box already, and you're creating that for them. I think that is, if people can wrap their head around that and start doing that, we're going to see a lot more of that kind of stuff come out because it's smart.
Yeah, that's exactly how it's designed. It's built. It was a hefty investment to get it going. We still have to continue to invest into it. But yeah, man, there's so many trainers out there that they need help. They're not a skilled enough trainer with the knowledge of what's actually going to get their clients results. That's why I was saying it's good for everybody. It's good for the company. It's good for me. It's good for the trainer themselves. They have a huge opportunity because we're such a young company right now too. Our 4 trainers, they're at the tip top. You have the company at the top, then you have those 4, and then they have the opportunity to continue to scale down whenever they're ready. Because there is a learning process. And a lot of people, man, they talk a lot of shit about network marketing, but if you really look at the business, bro, it's a great business, man. The business model is freaking amazing. Like it really is. And that puts me in a completely different blue ocean because nobody else is doing that. So I'm not really competing against these online fitness companies where they're going to run paid ads. They're going to message you through Instagram or Facebook, and then they're going to get the trainer or the client to hop on the sales call, and then $5,000 for a program. And then after that, that's it. You make a lot of quick money like that, but the long play is give people the skills, give people the opportunity, give them this knowledge. And then I develop my trainers to become the best trainers that they can be, use our systems, and then they can get results for their clients. And they like it. Like they actually like it. Like I'm not going to take a trainer that doesn't have an entrepreneurial spirit. I've had 2 trainers come on that they just couldn't do it. And it just wasn't a good fit. It's work until it's not work. And then it's autopilot because you just get so good at it. I've been doing it for so long. I could build a meal plan and a workout plan in like 20 minutes, fully customized down to the food allergy that you have. If you're allergic to peanuts, I'll make you your full macros, take your peanuts out. You don't like kale. Bro, I had a lady lose 10 pounds in her first week and all she pretty much ate was like cheeseburgers and chicken wings.
Are we going and giving everybody the wrong idea now? But no, if you know your macros and you do that.
Yeah. I actually have 2 levels of health with that. The first level is I'll teach people macros. The second level is we'll get to the micros and the nutrition side. So I teach my trainers this and then they're providing it for them. And then, yeah, the business infrastructure itself is amazing. $200 enrollment, join my team. I teach you how to do it. You get confident because now you're a great trainer. Show up for your clients, do all the things you need to do. And then you build your organization underneath you. And that removes Lee because now that's their team. And then they have to turn and become more of that leadership position. And leadership, I love it, man. I love it. I feel like I have 40 kids. I don't have any children of my own, but I feel like I do.
You're a born leader. I know that. I've listened to a lot of your content growing up with you as well.
I've always been a nice guy. Like I've always, for some reason, man, I've always fit in like with the nerds. Like I remember, bro, we were like in middle school, the kids who used to play Halo. Like I would rather hang out with those kids, even though like I'm the jock, the quarterback and the shortstop on the team and the point guard. I like the weird kids. And I'm still like that. Though I actually love weird stuff. I don't know why, but it just attracts me. I like the weirdos, man. The weirder, the better. Maybe it's because it's more unique. It's more rare. I'm not sure exactly what it draws me to, but yeah, the weirder, the better, man. Just imagine if everybody was just nice to each other. A big part of why people are mean to each other is because they don't feel good about themselves and they just project onto others their own limitations. And that kid's just like an easy object to get picked on. So that's another thing, man. You get somebody's mind, they start to feel good. They have a lot more compassion for people. They know people are actually struggling with a lot of different things. And it's, man, if we just had more compassion, we weren't so selfish. You get in the mind of somebody that's depressed, they're the most selfish person in the world. And I can tell you from personal experience, when I was going through it, I feel like I had my midlife crisis like 25. Like I was going through taking the bus. Literally, when I lived in LA, I was hopping on the bus to go do a couple appointments and then hopping on the bus back. And dude, I'll tell you right now, you live in LA, Venice, and you're taking the bus, bro. You got some interesting characters on that bus. But when I was on the bus, the only thing I could think about was, oh, why is this not working? Poor, pitiful me. Like, I'm trying my hardest. I'm doing everything I can. And everything was so negative. Everything is so negative. So I didn't have the capacity, the ability to help anybody. Like nobody. And I'm training people and they could probably feel it too. Oh, here's Lee. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Here's Lee coming in here. Now, listen, motherfuckers, I'm here, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to help you because you can't stop eating. Put the shit down and get to work. If everyone just had so much compassion for each other, man, but it's hard. It is. It's hard to get to that point. Yeah, that's the universal law, man. As above, so below, as within, so without. It's the same thing. And see, people don't have the consciousness or awareness to catch it. And then that negative frequency will lead to something else. And then when everything is energy, man, like everything in this world is energy, just like Nikola Tesla says, if you want to understand the laws of the universe, think in frequency and vibration. Like we are energetic beings. People can feel your heart up to 13 feet away. If you get stuck in the elevator with somebody and they're in a bad mood, you can feel that, right? But if you get stuck in that elevator, somebody's in a really good mood and they're happy and you can feel that, like your heart is, man, we're electric. We're electrical beings, bro. And I'm really starting to believe that everything is just frequency exchange. Like when you come across somebody, was it a good exchange, a bad exchange? How is it going to affect you? And I think we all have those types of thoughts. I have those types of thoughts. I think everybody has those thoughts. I actually think that's a human nature, but the key is, can you catch it? And then how quick do you stay down? Another universal law is the universal law of rhythm, which is what goes up must come down. What goes up must come down. And I really found that in myself when I was drinking, depressed. I literally spent every weekend getting hammered, drunk, freaking Broadway, downtown Nashville. And if you guys haven't been to Broadway on downtown Nashville, oh my gosh, dude, it is insane. It is crazy. Like you could potentially die because you get so drunk. But the point is, I'll go out there, have that short term dopamine boost of all that alcohol, all that energy. But then that next day, you have that hangover anxiety. You feel terrible. So you're doing this horrible yo like that. So you're going up, you're going down. So the key is one, mitigating the vices. It's what we do with our clients. We get rid of their self-sabotaging habits. And then two, we give them the tools to be able to do it. We give them the awareness to catch that. People don't actually catch when they're starting to think negatively because it had nothing to do with that guy. It had everything to do with you. Where you're like, man, what is it? What is he doing that is making me feel this way? Because if you project it onto him, then he has the power. But see, since you were aware, then you took your power back. You took that energy back. And then you can respond accordingly from that state of mind. Then you can make a very clear decision. And that's why you see a lot of your business owners are very emotionally intelligent. They have that high EI and they can put themselves in the positive mental attitude that Napoleon Hill talks about, that PMA. You put yourself in that positive mental state, then you act and move through life through that state, and you can make decisions from that position versus that low frequency state of mind and just destroy yourself, destroy relationships, get negative. And the law of attraction, you are what you think, you get what the energy frequency that you put out. Whatever you get is going to come back to you, or whatever you put out is going to come back to you.
So that's a lot to somebody who isn't or hasn't gone through what I guess you and me have gone through before on that level. How does one start, or how does one wrap their head around all that and begin on that track?
Got to own the morning. Got to own the morning. That is absolute key. Here's the two pillars that I have my clients do, and I'm teaching my trainers, all these guys to do, is one, wake up at a time that's uncomfortable. So if you typically get up at 5, get up at 4. That's uncomfortable. If you can start to wake up early, that's a win. That's a little win. And then the next one is discipline with the nutrition. That's what it is. And then you start stacking these small little wins. Well, then you start to feel good about yourself. And then you start to evolve. You just start to expand yourself. Really, the best thing anybody can do if they're really struggling with their mental health or something, they got to get fit, man. Like, you have to exercise your body. When you exercise, you increase your energy. If people get tired, most people go take a nap. When they should really do the opposite. They should do like some push-ups, some crunches, go hit a walk, anything, and you'll be re-energized by that. The first step, you have to have consciousness. You have to be aware, because once you're aware, there's no going back. There's no turning back from once you have that awareness. Now that I know what hidden sugars are, like, I'll never not know it. So once somebody becomes aware of their negative self-talk, then they can start to move. And then I call it stacking wins, man. Somebody starts getting those little bitty wins every single day. Wake up early every single day. Remove the alcohol. Whatever the alcohol is so bad, man. Start to be disciplined with your diet. You start to become the person that you want to be. And that's how you build confidence. And that's how you start to feel good about yourself. And that's how you start to progress and have a positive mental attitude. And if somebody comes at me with some negativity, it doesn't even faze me most of the time. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say they're impenetrable, but I'll catch it. But the key is, like, how quickly can you stay down? So if somebody's really serious about it, then start putting some standards on yourself. But then what I would also say, if someone's really serious, man, you got to hire a coach. Like, you've got to have somebody really help you, because it's very difficult. Very few people can get through that on their own. Like, you really have to have somebody help you, give you tools, give you strategies that can go through it. Here's an example. Who would you rather listen to preach? Would you rather listen to a preacher that has never been in trouble, has laced up his shoes and made straight A's their whole life, and has just been this perfect human, never faced any adversity, came from I'm not gonna say a wealthy family, but didn't have any challenges going up, good person, just a good guy? Or would you rather listen to somebody that has gone through hell and back, maybe went to prison, turned their life around, has all this personal experience about negativity, and now they are preaching? Who would have a more powerful message? It's going to be the person that's actually gone through the shit. And that's what I would say. I'll say, if somebody's like really wanting to level up, then, man, God, you really do have to just find somebody that can help you, because it's very rare that you're going to be able to do it on your own. Very rare.
Are you teaching your coaches this as well? Like, your trainers that come in, are you teaching them a mindset as well? Yeah.
Yeah. I have a coach. Like, dude, I've had coaches for years, man. Like, that's how I've leveled up every year. It's because I have people that I look up to that have what I want. And I'm like, help me become a better person. And then they do. And then it goes down the line. It goes to my trainers. And then I teach them how to get their positive mental attitude where they can service their clients better out of love. And then those clients refer people to us. It's amazing. Like, people will just refer left and right, because it really works. They really care, and it's fun.
Who do you look up to? Who are some of your mentors?
My current one is Wes Watson. And that's why I talked about prison, because he spent 10 years in prison. And then in 5 years, he went from $200 out of prison to making $36 million a year. $200,000 a day.
In 2 years.
5 years. 5 years. From $200 to $36 million, and it's only growing. Like, he's my coach. I'm in that group. I hop on those calls every week, and it's powerful. When you get with a group of guys or girls, or just a group of people that are all on the same path, then that will energize you like you would never, ever believe, man. You'll never believe it, because you're not going to feel perfect 24/7. If I'm feeling down, like if I'm not feeling my best, then I hop on that call, bro. I am fired up, because I don't even know, like a couple hundred other guys on the call, all sharing the same message, all going the same direction. You want to hear something really interesting? Rudolf Steiner, he said, we don't even have our own thoughts. He believes that when we think, we go to this universal thought, energy, and then I'm talking about the law of attraction. If you have a negative thought, you're tapping into how many other people's negative thought. But it's the flip side. If you have that positive thought, you're surrounded with people just like you, really trying to level up, it's going to influence you and it's going to push you the opposite direction. So community, super important. Being around people that are really pushing it, personal development, and having a good plan. And then sticking to the plan. Like that's actually key, is sticking to it.
What's your take on changing mentors? I'm sure you've had more than one mentor. What made you stay or leave or look for another one?
I've had a couple of them and they helped me. They've all served me well, but I'm not going to sit here and say of my 4 coaches I've hired that one of them has just given me this perfect secret sauce. Like no one. So I've taken, I feel like, as much as I could from this person, and then tried this person and learn from them, and then tried this person currently with Wes. And I'll tell you right now, so far his has been the best.
I think also too, a lot has to do with it with where you're at in life and where your knowledge or where you're at in your entrepreneurial journey as well. Because if I was hearing the stuff that I know now back 5 years ago, I wouldn't know what to do with it, or I wouldn't understand it like I do now. And then I'm sure 5 years from now, I'm probably going to look back that I don't understand now. I'll look back in 5 years. I'm like, oh, this is actually it. But I didn't understand it at that point. A really good mentor, somebody 1 to 2 years ahead of you and who has gone through, like you said, similar experiences or on a similar path as you.
Yeah. And the power of a mentor is they're going to get you from point A to point B as fast as possible. That's really the power. Like people could figure it out on their own if they do, but it's going to take them years. It took me, let's just talk about the nutrition side, bro. It took me like 8 years to figure that out. I got certified in metabolic typing. We're talking carb cycling, keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, overeating, undereating cycles, the alkaline diet. Dude, the list literally goes on and on. And they all work. I tried them all. But what really matters is calories, protein deficit, healthy deficit, sticking to it. But it took me 8 years of really trying to figure that out. And then I figured it out. And now my clients can literally go from point A to point B in the fastest amount of time possible. And that's really what a mentor is going to do. They're going to get you from point A to point B in the quickest route as possible, give you healthy expectations. Like my guys that lost over 100 pounds, I'll tell them straight up, like it's going to take you, you're in the fastest system to get there, but it's going to take you maybe 12 to 14 months. And that's fast. Like that's 2 pounds a week for something like that. But we can do it. And then we can keep it off long term because they have this structure. Now, when in reality, all those people are the biggest losers. They'll lose 100 pounds, but then they'll gain it back because they don't have a system. They try to do it the wrong way.
Yeah.
They try to just completely starve themselves. And so healthy expectation too. And also a good mentor, man, they're going to help you tell you where to look too. Let's just say when that you saw your buddy and you got jealous in that moment, that's just human instinct. You just got that moment, but you looked within. A lot of people won't be able to do that. A good mentor, if you would have shared that with me and I'm your coach, you had no self-awareness, I would have said, you're looking in the wrong spot. You got to look at yourself. And a good coach, a good mentor is going to actually tell you where to look. And then you are going to be able to solve your own problem with a good structure of being able to do it.
Yeah. Mentors are just a really high level therapist almost. They don't give advice. They give you the structure that you need. A good one, at least. That's how I've had a few business coaches as well. And the good ones, I feel like a lot are almost really good therapists.
Yeah, man. That's the key too. And a lot of people really need like that masculine, challenging love energy. I'll tell you a quick story. I had a guy, this was, I don't know, 8 months ago, who just kept getting in his refrigerator. He was losing weight, but man, this dude was really overweight. He was losing like no weight 1 week, half pound the next week. And he should really have been losing like 2 to 3 pounds, maybe more plus. And from a human frequency chart, most people live in shame. Shame is the lowest human frequency. When you live in shame, that's as bad, as low as it goes. The highest is authenticity. So if you can just really be yourself, because that's self-love, then you're going to tell people the truth. You're going to just be you. And that's attractive because it's a strong energy for you to live through. But what's really interesting is anger is medium low on that frequency chart. I know these levels here. I had to just get in this guy's ass. And I don't like to do it because it's not my natural personality. But dude, I got in his ass, man. I called him everything. This dude's got kids. And you see this, he's overweight. His kids are overweight because he's passed it on his terrible habits. That's like his one job. It's just like to not pass on those habits. So I had to literally insult him because he just had this wall. I just couldn't get through to him, but I pissed him off enough to actually break through and get to him emotionally for him to actually stop doing that. So I actually raised his elevation. Like I made him mad enough where he'll actually stop doing what he had been doing. So I just think it's really interesting that and a lot of high level therapists they know that and they'll intentionally do that. And it actually is coming from a place of love. And then he thanked me later because he was like, damn, that actually worked, man. Now I'm actually getting results because I had to literally insult him because I was pissed because he wasn't doing what I had to tell him to be doing.
Was it more of him getting pissed off and him wanting to prove you wrong?
I just pissed him off, bro. I told him the truth and he needed to hear the truth. The truth hurts. The truth freaking hurts, man. And truth is love. Bro, your boy should tell you if you're getting fat. Like your boys, like you, and that's why having a mentor or coach is so important. I have this system so dialed in. If we're not getting results, I know something's going on. Like you're doing something. What are you doing? Because you're not doing what I have you doing. So it doesn't matter if he got pissed at me, if he was pissed at himself, but he got out of that shame. Shame, man. We go in, eat, terrible habits. So many people do that. And then he stopped doing it. And then he didn't do it again the next day. He didn't do it again the next day. And then he actually started to get those results. And yeah, that's the name of the game, dude, is right there. Anger, it's a lower medium frequency to elevate people to.
You said your boy should call you out. Touch base on that a little bit more. I'm big on this, and my friends know this. I'll call you out on stuff, but I don't do that for confrontation. I don't do that to shame you. I do that out of love, but just to better yourself and grow. That's all I want. That's what we have to do as human beings. We're either growing or dying. Let's just say you completed your diet, you've lost pounds, or you've gone to the gym and then you have that one day, you're like, I'm not feeling it. I think I'm going to give myself a cheat day. I'm going to reward myself. A friend will be like, yeah, you're right. You should reward yourself. You've done what you said you're going to do. But a good friend is actually going to tell you, no, stick to what you're doing. It might go against the grain, but somebody's looking out for the better version of yourself. That's a good friend.
That's the best friend you could have in the world. Somebody that's going to check you. Somebody that's going to keep you in line. I'll tell you right now, I don't want to go out to dinner with my boys and I got Dylan over here that's 350 pounds. I personally don't want to be around it. I know that's fucked up, but if I'm helping somebody and I'm getting them results, dude, when we roll in, bro, everybody looks at us because we're all fit. We all look good. We carry ourselves a certain way. But if we have a chunky monkey rolling through, it's like, all right, there's John. Let's make John feel as comfortable as possible right now. You know, John gets a salad. We're like, we know you're not eating a salad, bro. They just behave differently. And because there's this weird thing going on. So the check is, I'll tell you right now, if I'm going out, if I'm going to help people, like, bro, I want to be around people that are on the same mission as me. They take care of themselves. They're pushing themselves. And don't get me wrong. That's why I'm a coach. Like, I'm not going to say like John weighs 350 pounds, can't come eat dinner with me. You know what I mean? But I might be like, John, you sticking to your plan, bro? Like, how's your day going? What are you doing? And because that's just how I am. Like, I just can't help it. I'm like this all the time, like all the time. And it's interesting though, because a part of me doesn't like to hurt people's feelings because I just have so much love. But since I do know that sometimes it's necessary, like it must be done. Like it must be done. And I'll tell you right now, personal development and fitness and business are all, to me, interconnected. Like I didn't start leveling up until I hired a coach. He helped me. I started waking up at 4 a.m., started getting to work at like 4:45, going through my morning process of doing what I have to do to get that positive mental attitude. And then I'm on the computer 5 to 7. I've already knocked out. Bro, so much stuff. Lee used to not do that. So I had to start to behave as if I am operating a Fortune 500 company or a 10-figure business. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. Like, how do those guys operate? That's what they're doing. So the old Lee would wake up at 7, drag, not hit my workouts, not hit my macros, not go through my morning routine, not answer the phone if it's going to be an uncomfortable conversation, stuff like that. Avoid that stuff. But that's, if you really want to level up, you got to get fit, you got to get your minds right. And then you become the person that deserves it. You start to build that self-confidence in yourself. You start to increase that vibe. And then people are just like, bro, Dylan, what are you doing? You probably had tons of people ask you that. Dylan, what are you doing, bro? You're doing something. What are you doing? I want to be a part of it. You're like, bro, I'm just doing me. You're like, I don't even know what you're talking about. But that's just because that's who you are. Like, you're just that person. You have to develop yourself into that person. And discipline, here's what the essence of discipline is. Discipline is your higher self ruling your lower self, not through resistance, but through understanding and being grounded in compassion. I'm going to repeat that. Discipline is your higher self ruling your lower self, not through resistance, but through understanding and grounding, being compassionate. And what that really is, and I'll use food because I'm a fitness coach. So food, if somebody is in a caloric deficit to lose weight, it's uncomfortable. They have to have discipline, but they need to be compassionate with themselves. And then they need to understand why they're doing it. If somebody's going through a process and they're in that caloric discipline where they got to build that business and it's painful, then that discipline is that higher self. Okay, I know I'm doing this because in 6 months, it's going to work out. In a year, it's going to be 10x or whatever the case is. Like, discipline is that higher self that we all have ruling that lower child frequency that we have. If we just don't want to do something, we just don't do it.
Thinking long term. That's a big thing. Thinking longer than 12 months. 12 months is a long time. It's really not, but thinking in 5 years or 10 years for something, for accomplishment or something that you're working on is the key.
Yeah, it is hard. It is hard to think that long, like long. Yeah. Down the river, like you said, it is hard to have that vision. What do you think about burnout?
I think if you do what you're passionate about and do something meaningful in helping others, burnout shouldn't come. Burnout comes from doing more than what you need to be doing, essentially, is the way I look at burnout now. People say work-life balance. I'm not a believer in that, really. I think that you should have a healthy relationship. I think you should have healthy friendships, certain aspects of your life, your relationships, your faith, your business, and your personal life. I think that you should have a degree of awareness and attentiveness to each one. And you're responsible for those. To answer your question, burnout's not really something I believe in. I think that you work on what you're intended to work on, what God put you on this earth to do, and something you're passionate about and brings you joy and brings other people joy or happiness and fulfillment for yourself, that it's really hard to get burnout on something like that.
No, that was well said. You definitely are in a position where you can talk about it.
We learn as we go, and we fumble, we stumble, and we fail forward. But that's what I love about this.
That's what we call wisdom. That's personal experience. I can talk about riding the bus with homeless people because I did it. And I can tell you exactly how that feels. It feels miserable. It's one of the worst feelings in the world. Like, I had personal experience with that. That's what wisdom is. I can talk about when my brother was murdered. I can tell you how that feels and why we should cherish our family, because that's wisdom. You hate your family. Have you ever had a family member get murdered? No. Like, you might look at things a little bit differently if you have some personal experience and some wisdom. And I'm with you on the burnout stuff. Everybody's going to experience it eventually, but here is what I'm beginning to view it as. It comes down to a little bit of discipline, avoiding the work, because work is work. I love what I do, but I don't love everything about it. Right after this, my CPA messaged me. I got to organize a bunch of transactions. That's not any fun. I hate that, but it's tax season. It's got to get done. But here's what I'm really learning what burnout is. I really believe it's a momentary lapse in vision and judgment. Like it's a momentary thing. What comes with that is when we lose energy, that is pure negative self-talk. That's when we get tired. When it's that depressed state, we have no energy, we're depressed. So get that positive mental attitude. You crush the morning, you hit your workout, you just start stacking all these little wins. Dude, I've got like 20 wins today. It's 2:00. I'll talk to people and they're like, they got two. And I'm like, no wonder you don't feel good. You're not doing anything. Like, bro, you have to do stuff. The worth is in the work, especially for guys. Like we are made to put in some work and then we feel good about ourselves. We're not putting in work, then we're not going to do it. Negative self-talk, then we experience burnout. Like that's what I am learning through my personal experience is like when I avoid shit is when I just start to talk bad about it, thinking in my head, damn, I got this to do. I got that to do. 100 different things going on. That's what burnout is that's my opinion. And what my experience is a momentary lapse of vision. We just lose focus.
That's a really good point. I'm sitting here thinking, last time I told myself I was burnt out, I wasn't doing the things that got me to that point. I slacked on my morning routines. Typically, I'm not stacking those wins like I used to. More things were stacking up. I was avoiding more things. Jordan Peterson says this. He says, you want to get real with yourself? Sit on the end of your bed and think of all the things that you should be doing, but you're avoiding now. And that's just pretty much what I did one day. And then that was a year ago. And then from there, here we are now. It's just like how things can change in a split second whenever you just get real with yourself. I did the same thing to build this up, to build the other ventures that I'm doing right now, the other companies that I have now. I'm doing way more than what I was doing before, but I'm so much more happier doing it because I figured out that step. And I didn't know that at the beginning. Fulfillment is big. And then I'm glad that you pieced it together like that, a lapse in focus.
Yeah. It's lost focus. That's all it is. We've all experienced it. Hell, I couldn't tell you how many times I've wanted to quit. There were times I wanted to quit every day. I'm like, what else am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not the smartest person in the world. Like I didn't make a 36 on my SAT or ACT, whatever it was. But I'll tell you what I do have is I do have a work ethic and I do have self-awareness. Bob Proctor is another one because my whole belief in life is energy that we're talking about. You just become that person. Lee is so fulfilled and so happy when I wake up at that time when it's uncomfortable. And then I do these tasks, I knock it out, I get the workout in, I'm in that caloric deficit, I'm a little hungry, I'm being disciplined because my higher self is now ruling. Like that is when Lee is the happiest. Lee is depressed when he avoids the shit he's supposed to do. Little stuff. Like I used to not go to my nephew's football games because I used to prefer to go to downtown Nashville and drink. Like I used to do that. Like I know I should be there for my nephew. He's only going to be playing football for so much time, but I wasn't doing it because I was so selfish. I worked all week. I needed time to decompress. I'm going to go drink some alcohol. And then my granddad was an alcoholic. I have a very addictive personality. I'll start drinking. I'll, do a line of cocaine. Next thing I know, I'm doing acid. And next thing I know, it's 4:00 in the morning. I'm face down, ass up in the ditch, like straight up. I can get like that in 2 seconds, like that. You said you realize where you was at. And we can literally change our direction in a moment, like to make the decision to do it. And the definition of decision is to separate yourself from. So if somebody decides to wake up early, now you just separate yourself from sleeping in, which is a bad habit. Somebody decides to get healthy, like literally that's so, bro, it's so amazing just how powerful we are as humans. We're the only animals on the planet that can create the way that we can create, like no other animal on the planet, which is what makes me believe in God. You really get down the rabbit hole of DNA and stuff. We don't have to do all that, but bro, it blows my mind. But we can literally make the decision in a moment to become what we want. And then the key is to stay there. And then it's impossible to not be successful. If you just stay there and you don't leave it and you remove these vices, these things that pull you down, then you will elevate. And that's what baggage is. Baggage is the shit that's holding you back. So a lot of people are trying to run 100 miles an hour, but they got 200 pounds holding them back from, I don't know, ex-girlfriend or wife that they have a terrible relationship that they're not man enough to like sit down and resolve, or they're binge eating, and that's holding them down because then they got to take a 2-hour nap every single time they do that, or they're not showing up as that person. That's what baggage is. You remove vices, you cut those strings, and then you can actually really accelerate fast too. You get from point A to point B fast.
We've got a confession segment. I want to know the trade secret. So Lee, what's your confession?
I'll tell you this. Hormozi's big on this too. Personal branding. I think, this is my personal opinion, this is the direction EluFit is moving. My company, we're moving this direction, is I'm teaching my trainers how to personal brand. Like, if I came on this podcast and I had a booger in my nose the whole time, let's just be like, oh shit, blow it out. Damn, Dylan, I'm sorry, bro. I have that booger the whole time. Then people love that. Like people that are just unique, they're authentic, and share your message or just my message. I'm still working on this. This comes with personal development, but I really think the secret is going to be personal branding. Like Kylie Jenner, I think it's got like $1 billion industry with 11 employees. Why do people buy her product? Because they love Kylie Jenner. Why do people work with Lee? Because they just like me. What can I monopolize? I think Rockefeller and Carnegie and all those industrial age businessmen, they monopolized their product, and we can't do it anymore. That's actually illegal. You can't monopolize things, but what we can monopolize is your personal brands. So and this is one thing, that's why I hired Wes actually, was personal branding, because I was trying to make everything so perfect. Now, if I do a YouTube video and I fart or I mess up, like I don't edit it out. Like I actually keep it in there now. Like I'll leave it in there because the people are like, oh, that was funny. I like this guy. Lee thinks all the conspiracies are real. Okay. I think they might be real too. I don't know. So that's what we're big on, is personal branding, being fully authentic, becoming the person, being goofy, just being you. And that will keep people's attention. I don't know if they answered your question, what you was looking for, but on the inside, that's one of the main things on our team meetings that we have that we really discuss. Like a lot of my coaches, every post is like perfect, or every video is perfect. And they'll be like, yeah, I spent like 30 minutes doing that. I had a booger in my nose. Bro, keep the booger in your nose. Let people see it. Like that's
more likely to go viral.
Yeah, bro. People like that stuff. I got another guy, I was talking to him. He's an insurance agent, and he was telling me that he can't post on social media. Like I gave him a shout out on my IG, and he had 100 people go up, just literally just from an Instagram story. 100 people took that link over to his page, but he doesn't have anything on his page. And I'm, bro, that's like 100 new people just checking you out. 10 of those follow you. That's 10 new organic leads you just got right there, just because they like you. And those are 10 potential new clients you probably could have had. There's that fear there of, we have to live in this perfect little world. We have to present ourselves perfectly. And I'm actually I'm in the very early stages of this, and I'm working on it, is just to, if it's not perfect, post it. If it's not the best, post it. Cause I think that's actually going to get more attention. More people can relate to that than we actually think it is. And in the age of AI, man, I really think that as AI progresses, you can tell who's using ChatGPT. Like you hop on an Instagram post, you can tell who's using ChatGPT and writing. I was doing it because it's easy and it takes no work. It's brainless. And you can tell who's not. But what I'm getting at is, in the age of AI, I really think human nature is going to be more attracted to a personal brand, to an actual human, than AI, if they can tell the difference. So that will probably be the secret right there. I would say personal branding is key in today's world. Mr. Beast, you watch Mr. Beast, the videos are great, but freaking love the guy being innovative. And that's incredible. Blue Ocean strategy. What are other people? What is everybody doing? And how can you make yourself different? Usually it's simple stuff. And here's something that I've learned as well over the years, bro. If anybody goes to my YouTube channel, I literally tell everybody, exactly how to get ripped. Everybody, I tell it step by step how to do it. Calories, you got to know your calories. Protein, you got to know your protein. I give you all the formula right now. If you need to lose 20 pounds or less, multiply your body weight times 10. And then you need to give yourself 3 months and stick to that number. That's your total calories. Now, that's a very basic formula, but surprisingly very accurate. If you need to lose 20 pounds of fat or more, use the Mifflin-St. Jeor equation, the St. Benedict-Harris equation, and then use that number. And then you need to eat enough protein, 0.65 to 0.85 times your body weight. And that's it. Literally, it's calories and protein. It's literally that simple. And then you need to lift weights. And lifting weights is not hard. You don't even have to lift weights. You could do push-ups. Like I have my clients, they travel out of town. All right, you're going to do 5 sets of push-ups to failure. It should take you like 20 minutes in your, hotel room. That's all it takes. Like it's just enough stimulus for neural adaptation to occur. And then the body will be forced to burn fat and not muscle. That's the secret.
You're using that muscle. So it's telling your body that, hey, he's utilizing that muscle. Don't burn that, burn the fat instead that he's not using.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Because what ends up happening, this is what happens. When you're in a caloric deficit, you need to be in a healthy deficit. If you go too low, your hormones are going to plummet. Testosterone is going to drop. You're going to set yourself up for failure. So it needs to be about a 500 calorie deficit. If you need to lose a lot, then you need to go down to 1,000. And then they just need to use those equations I just mentioned, and then just eat your protein. And then in terms of telling the body's going to do whatever you tell it. Like it's AI. Like it's like a code. You just tell it, type it in what to do. And this is how you do it. So when instead of doing a bunch of cardio and crushing yourself, if you do that, you are going to lose muscle and fat at the same time. So meaning if Dylan needs to lose 20 pounds, if you were to not lift and you were just to go do cardio in this deficit, you're going to lose 10 pounds of fat and 10 pounds of muscle, and you're going to have the same shape. You're going to stay that kind of skinny fat. You're not going to be happy. And then you're going to be pissed because you're working so hard and you're not getting the results that you want. You have to lift weights. When you lift weights, it's the SAID principle, SAID, specific adaptation to impose demand. You want to build bigger pecs, you got to work pecs. You want bigger legs, you got to work the legs. When you do that, whenever you just go somewhat close to failure, you're literally releasing growth hormone in that muscle. And then that's what's going to help that muscle grow. So when that is present, the body cannot pull energy, calories from muscle. It's going to pull it from fat cells, which is just stored energy. And that's the secret sauce. That's how our clients lose so much fat so quick and then literally look like superheroes. That's how it's done. Calories, protein, lift weights. It's very important. And then if somebody really wants to put some jet fuel on it, throw intermittent fasting in there. Then they're going to freaking just get absolutely shredded.
It's actually all in your book as well.
Step by step.
And I was going to touch base on this. You've got a book. Where did you come up with a book, or how did the thought spark? I need to create a book, and then have the mindset to believe that you could become an author and produce a book as well.
I read Blue Ocean Strategies. I looked at what are other people doing? All right, they're all doing that. What are they not doing? They're not writing books. That's opened so many doors for me. I recommend anybody in business to write a book. It's funny because I had a lady help me with editing, and I'm like in there, like I'm not a writer. Like, guys, I have no idea how to write. She had to do so much. Dude, I don't put the commas in the right spot. I don't know how to do all that stuff. So she's editing it. Like one sentence, I'm talking about something personal. The next sentence, I'm talking about this. And she was like, Lee, just for this book, just give people what they need. Make it short. Just tell them how to do it. So that's what I did. I was like, all right, you've done this with, I don't even know how many other people, but you're the pro. So that's what I did. And it just laid it out. Everything I just said right there is in the book. And then there's a lot more information as well that mainstream tells us is bad. Like red meat is actually a superfood. If you guys can eat red meat, you want to get that there's a lot of other reasons why it's super healthy, why vegan is terrible for you, why zone 2 cardio is the best, which is 120 to 145 in terms of losing weight. Like just so many little golden nuggets on how to do it, how to break it down, why it's important, the blueprint, literally get people the blueprint. And I came up with that idea because I'm looking at other people. What are they doing? All right. What are they not doing? They're not writing books. And I'm using it as leverage to get into places. So if anybody or all of you guys are business owners, I recommend everybody to write a book. Literally, all it's going to cost you is time. And I paid a guy off Upwork like $500 to, design the cover. And that was it. Dude, putting a book on Amazon, like it's not a New York Times bestselling author, but you want to put a book on Amazon, then dude, it's literally, you just upload the files. Like you get your files, you write it, you upload it. It's the simplest thing in the world. But going through the process was like painful because I'd never done it. Like, how do I do this? On YouTube and this, blah, blah. Like, how do you do it?
I figured you hired a ghostwriter or something. That's what a lot of people do, but you actually wrote it yourself.
Yeah, it took me like 6 months, but she helped me. Like, I can't sit here and say it was perfect. She helped me a lot. She gave me a lot of ideas. I wrote it. She did a ton of editing. I felt bad for her because it was just, grammar is so bad. But yeah, man, she simplified it. It's 100 pages. It's not a big book. I had people read it in a day. A lot of people messaged me saying, bro, I just lost 20 pounds. Just read your book. The book is $4.99. There is literally no reason to not have it. And it looks cool too. It's a great gift. What I was going to say with the whole personal branding thing, I really believe in sharing everything because even if you give people the information, their ability to adhere to it is completely up to them. So I tell people this stuff all the time, but they still can't do it because they still have these negative vices, this negative self-talk, these limiting beliefs in themselves. They still can't do it, even though they have the information. And then people reach out to me like, hey, Lee, I need help. Like, all right, I just got to be on your ass. And I have to tell them, like, quit eating your kitchen, dog. Why are you doing that? Stop. That's why you're, overweight and you feel depressed. And then they stop. And you got results.
You've got a book. You have a following on multiple channels. You do a lot. Where have you seen the biggest growth for your online products? And I say online products, essentially funnel to your website. Where have you seen the biggest growth for that? What do you contribute to?
I'm taking a hit over these last few months because I lost my Facebook. I did a YouTube video on semaglutide, which is, it just depresses certain hormones. That's why people lose weight and they lose muscle too. And it's not a long-term fix. You want to optimize the body, hormones, man, hormones and muscle. Like you want to be fully optimized hormones and muscle. And that's like level 3. Like I have tiers that I teach people: calories, protein, micros, nutrition labeling, and then hormones to optimize. And then that's when you just take off and feel amazing. But it was Facebook. So we've actually taken it because we're organic. Like I was running paid ads, doing the whole thing. The ad leads to the messenger. We message back and forth. We schedule a sales call, but those people had no idea who I was. So it's very difficult to sell people that don't know who you are. And it's not organic. And it just didn't feel good. Like my soul didn't like it. So that's when I switched over. You know what, man? I'm just going to give people free information. I'm just going to be me. We're going to rock it out that way. And I've been doing that now and it's working really well. And it was Facebook. Like I had a great following on Facebook, man. Great. All fans. And Facebook hacked. You got hacked. I posted a video on YouTube about semaglutide. It's talking about the pros and the cons. And I promise you 5 minutes later, I had an email or something on Facebook that said, hey, this violates blah, 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 something with Facebook. Here's the button to dispute it. We're going to take it down. And it looked real. It looked real. And I was busy. I didn't read it. You know what I'm saying? I just like, oh, are they really not going to let me talk about that? Like, I didn't say anything bad. Like, all right, whatever. So I clicked on it. Dude, it was a hacker. And when I clicked on it, they immediately had access to my Facebook account. And I had 2 other accounts. I had my ad account because we were running ads at the time. It's like a beautiful thing, like, and how it happened. And then this is what they do. This is how it works. They move quick. They move fast. So if you guys ever get hacked, you need to stop immediately and deal with the problem because they're moving very quick. What they do, they get in your account. They add themselves as the admin to the account. They change the password. So now you're trying to log into your account, but they change the password. You can't get in. And then they remove you from the account. And that's how they do it. And then Facebook has horrible customer service. and I ended up losing it. I lost the account. Never got it back. I even paid a guy to help me get it back. Some tech
That's
guy,
scary.
he couldn't do it. And I'll say this too. If I didn't have, my passwords are crazy. Like they're freaking super long, crazy numbers. I have them all separate. So if I had not had a coach in the past who told me you need to have separate passwords for every single business asset that you have, if I had not had that, they could have got access to my Instagram. They could have got access to everything. And they even tried to hack my LinkedIn. My LinkedIn got disabled for a week, but they didn't have the right password to be able to get into it. So I was able to get LinkedIn back up and running. But yeah, man, that's just another, you guys probably already know that, but make sure every password is different to every single business asset you have. Because if they hack it and they move quick, this happened in 20 minutes. They took the whole thing over in like 20 minutes. Oh, I was pissed, bro.
That's crazy.
So I took that hit. That's hurt me because that was my biggest lead generation organically. And I lost my business page because that was also linked to my personal page. So I lost that too. So now it's Instagram.
And that's years of building up. I lost my Twitter and I'm trying to rebuild that back up now. And luckily I still have my Facebook.
I'm telling you, like the fitness industry, maybe other stuff, because the reason why Facebook and Instagram are so powerful with more high ticket stuff is because they're going to DM you. And then you have a messenger, a script through DM. So we were running ads and then I would get 20 to 50 leads a day. And I'd just be sitting there just messaging all day, blah, 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 blah. Because once they DM you, that's a lead, and you got a message, and then you go and you got to schedule the call, and then it's the hard close. And that's how they're doing it. And I didn't like that. So I was just like, you may need to lose 100 pounds. It was turning me into a bitter person. That's what it was doing. Like I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy it. I feel so much better when I just help people, give them info, and then they hit me up. I guess that'd be more of pulling marketing, more of an organic attraction style.
Pull mark versus,
instead of pushing myself.
That's why I've really enjoyed this online stuff, diversifying and learning a lot about this. So I'm sure I have a lot more questions for you about things that I'll build out as well, because you've done a phenomenal job of that already.
This is personal branding. Like we're talking about what's the secret. This is personal branding right here. Your voice is your brand. I had a coach who told me, if you're not ready to get in front of the camera, then you're not ready to run a business. Because I just wanted to do it this way. I didn't want to be the one telling people. I didn't want to show my face. I just want to do like that. And like, that hit me. Damn, am I ready? I'm not ready. Damn, okay. I got to start filming myself and actually putting myself out there and saying shit. And I'll never forget him telling me that. He said, if you are not ready to film yourself, then you are not ready to run a business.
I think my camera closed out.
Yeah, I don't get to see all that sexiness anymore, man. Where'd you go?
Did it mess up on your end?
Yeah, man. Hey, I got a question for you. What was the biggest obstacle you've had to overcome recently? What is your newest discovery with anything?
Biggest obstacle, I'll answer first. I would say probably these podcasts and like getting my face in front of the camera, because I've never done that before. That was awful at first. I'm stumbling, stuttering, everything, because I feel like I had to be perfect. But I just keep telling myself, just be yourself. You're going to attract the people that enjoy you. And you're going to build an audience of people that enjoy the things you want to do. You're going to build your own personal brand on that end. So that was one thing. And it gave me a lot of encouragement knowing that, hey, I hope people see how bad I am at this. And it might give them the confidence to go out and record a video or do something like this. Because this is one thing I wish I would have done at the beginning, is start documenting or creating content and putting my face on camera more. That's a big obstacle for me. I wanted to ask one more thing before we close out here. What has you fired up right now about the future? Are you working on anything right now?
I'm so positive about the future. Like I am so excited about everything that I'm doing because I have these pillars that I live by. I have this structure. Like I woke up negative yesterday. I just woke up pissed off. Like I don't even know why. Like literally right when I got out of the bed, but then I go through my morning process, my sequence, and I'm in a great mood. And I just keep stacking these days, but I see the future. I'm a very spiritual guy. All right. So I think the future is very positive. And this is how I break this down. Cause I've had multiple people like think the world's about to burn to hell, which it might. So I was asked that question, and this is what I think we're in the middle of right now. When a volcano erupts, like it is violent. Like it destroys everything. But then when it settles, it's an island. It's a big landmass. And now it's grass grows, birds come, worms are in the ground. Then you have your predators come in, you have trees, flowers. So I think right now we're just in the eruption of the volcano, and it's all going to settle. It's all going to settle. If you're a real spiritual person, we're in the age of Aquarius right now, which is the age of enlightenment. And it's going to come where Christ comes from the inside out. People are becoming aware of all the stuff that's going on in the world and just how evil it really is. Like it's evil, like it's satanic, just evil. And that's why I'm so positive about it, because we make it through, which we will, then it's going to be perfect. So if you are building something right now, I think now is the time to do it, because nobody else is doing it, because everybody's in so much fear. They're not positive. A very positive future.
Guys, you got to go check this guy out. Seriously. He clearly knows all his stuff. I know you have a website, Lee, EluFit. Where else can people interact with you?
Best place is going to be interact is going to be Instagram. Like I have people message me. I'll hit you back. I'll help you as much as I can. I have a lot of content on YouTube. We're building that channel. Like I said, and I give so much free info on YouTube. Those are really going to be the best places. It's going to be the website, elufit.com, elufit.com, by the way, which is an acronym for Enhanced Living Unlimited. That's what that stands for. And yeah, Instagram, YouTube. Instagram is Lee Maasen, Maasen. Y'all can hit me there. And then, yeah, if you might need some help, man, I'll get you there.
You've got a book too that's on Amazon. It's cheap. And the ROI on that is, guys, I've read it twice now. It's a no-brainer. Return on your investment is ridiculous. Go check it out. It's too cheap not to. Lee, you got anything else for us before we end?
No, man, that's it. I appreciate you having me on. It's been a great time. I hope this helps some of the entrepreneurs out there. We're all a band of brothers coming together.
Lee, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey, I appreciate you, dude.
Hey, if you're still listening, hopefully you got some value out of this or amusement. Either way, I really appreciate you for listening. My goal with this podcast is to build something of value while also showing others that it's possible to do the same. And what I mean by that is I'm not perfect at this. I fumble, I stutter, and I just want to show that it's okay. If you've been putting something off, this is me telling you to go for it. So I need your help in growing this, and there's two main ways a podcast grows. One is through ratings and reviews, and two is through word of mouth. So I can only do it with your help. If you can leave me a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, as well as post this to your social, it doesn't grow without you. Thank you. Talk to you all next week.